While this conference focuses on the issues relating to GDPR, to which I would gratefully defer to your expertise and wisdom, it is my great pleasure to be able to share with you some of my thoughts or vision in the particular context of a much smaller privacy landscape of Hong Kong. The data protection law in Hong Kong was inspired by the 1995 EU directive and principally based on the 1980 OECD guidelines, but it is confined to protection of data of a living person only. The right is recognized as a fundamental human right, and the law is principle-based and meant to be technology neutral. In the context of AI, personal data protection will only come into play when AI or its related algorithms process and compile data that directly or indirectly identifies a person. The next question we should ask ourselves is, what are the data risks and challenges? Number one, unpredictability. Do data subjects know when and what kind of data is collected or processed? Do data subjects know if the data collected or processed is excessive or not? How can data controllers provide meaningful notice about the unpredictable and the unexplainable? How can data subjects give realistic and genuine consent without being well informed? The second challenge would probably be one of transparency. What is the logic or rationale behind the algorithmic correlations and decisions? To what extent can AI make evolvement to its own algorithm, considering that the machine may have its own ways of thinking and hence may not follow the logic as designed by its engineer? Number three, bias. Can data subjects ascertain whether the data collected by AI is true, fair, or accurate? Can data subjects object to unfair or biased decisions made from inaccurate data? 4. Unexpected data use. Can data be stopped from being combined, aggregated, and used in unexpected ways? Can data collected from public domain be stopped from being analyzed? Number 5, re-identification. Can the AI and big data analysis facilitate re-identification of de-identified personal data? If so, how can the risk of re-identification be managed? Another challenge, the sixth one, profiling. How can a person be protected from being subject to an AI decision solely based on profiling? Number 7, accountability. Who should be responsible for the act or decision made by AI analytics? Should data controllers, not being the machine designers and having taken all reasonable and practicable measures to ensure data protection, be accountable for the act or decision of the machine if it learns by its own or goes out of control? Should data protection law apply if the data is collected and processed by AI machines alone? The last challenge, in my view, is timeliness. Is it too early to address the challenges brought about by AI, given that there are so many question marks? Or is it too late to ask the data subjects to be vigilant about providing their personal data, given the foreseeable growth in the use of AI? Is it high time that data controllers, AI-related included, be urged, if not educated, to be more respectful of the data privacy right of a person as a more effective way to protect the right. Like many other data protection laws, the Hong Kong law does, amongst other things, tell data controllers how to be data protection friendly. Like many other jurisdictions, Hong Kong supports innovative technology development and free flow of information and data. And we are also mindful that the support will not be a trade-off for the derogation of the fundamental right of personal data privacy. In addition to enforcing the data protection law, we as a data protection authority would continue, in particular, to secure the protection through public education and provision of facilitating assistance and advice, to help data controllers build confidence and trust amongst the data subjects, and to establish, in the long run, a culture of consciously keeping one's personal data under one's own control, as well as a culture of respecting others' personal data by being more responsive to expectation, more transparent, more forthcoming, and more reader-friendly in expressing their privacy policy and obtaining consent. It is indeed my real privilege to be given this opportunity to, as our Chinese saying goes, solicit a piece of jade by offering a brick, in that I take the liberty to float some of the very basic and preliminary questions in relation to the possible impact of AI on personal data privacy protection. I apologize once again for not being able to come to Brussels to pick your wisdom and expertise in person, but I'm sure I will, through other channels, benefit a great deal from the exchange of your views and the resulting inspirational, helpful, and concrete observations and findings that you would come up with. Thank you very much indeed, and I wish you a most enjoyable and fruitful panel discussion.